Hello and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgavin, known as the Dream Decipherer, and this is Dream Your Life, Live Your Dream Live, where we talk about all things dreams. And the reason why I'm looking like an extra at the at from the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's is because we're in full hurricane season now, and it's very hot, very humid. It's like walking through water, and but I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish this before the rain comes. I mean, it's sunny at the moment, but the clouds are building. And last week I had to go indoors, and it was a good thing I did because it poured rain with a lot of thunder and lightning. So we're going to be looking at this over the next few lives, a new series which is called Dreams and Nightmares. Why do we have them? So first, we're going to be looking at what dreams are, what nightmares are, why, the possible reasons why we may have them, and then look at what purpose do they serve, if any. And finally, to look at your sleep. If you're not sleeping well, you're not dreaming well, generally, unless you're having nightmares, perhaps. So we'll look at some simple tips that help you to sleep better, and also simple tips on how to remember your dreams better. So today we're going to, in the first installment, is to look at what are dreams exactly. Now, dreams have been considered fascinating and mystifying for thousands of years from many different cultures. But it was Sigmund Freud who actually, in the modern times, had hip people to the fact that dreams really did mean something and could be used for healing purposes, among other things. But empires have been won and lost over the centuries because of dreams. So as long as people have been dreaming, people have been wondering about it. But the reasons why we dream are still the subject of much debate. More research that's being done around dreams specifically is teaching us a lot about how dreams work and why they work, and how we can use them to our advantage. But the views have swung from seeing dreams as just the byproduct of sleep to being the voice of spirit or of God talking to us. So what exactly are dreams? Now, a definition of dreams could be that they're images, thoughts, and principally emotions that occurred during our sleep, usually visual in nature, but that's not always the case. For example, for people who are not sighted, whether they were born without sight or lost their sight, will have dreams that feature the other senses, the sense of touch, the smell, taste, rather than vision. So, but that's not to say that people with sight don't experience that as well. They do. I had a dream around some years ago around Christmas time, and I could smell the resin from the live Christmas tree that was in this dream, and it smelled delicious too. So, so dreams, when we're having them, are quite real. That's our reality at that particular moment. But the typical characteristics of a dream is that it's usually in the first person. The person, that part of us that says I, is the director of the movie and the star of the show. So it's usually in the first person. It's involuntary unless you practice some methods of deliberately encouraging dreams or dream incubation. Dreams come up suddenly or, unexpectedly. They may seem illogical or even incoherent, but I say that with the proviso that dreams have their own logic, their own language, and you have to crack the code of that particular code of language of the dream, of your dreams, because everybody's code is different, to be able to understand and tease out the meanings of the dreams. It usually involves interacting with others, or not. I mean, others may be in your dream, but you're not talking to them. But the dreams are usually feature interaction of some kind with some other, whether it be other people, it could be the environment, it could be animals. So, I mean, interaction is a flexible term, I think, in terms of who or what you're interacting with. There are strong emotions are also a characteristic of dreams. I mean, whether you think about it, you have a nightmare or you have a very sexy dream, you're there, you're feeling it, sometimes more than you may want to. But, it generates, it's a psychological process that generates a physical response. And lastly, there will be snippets or bits of your waking ordinary life that pop up in your dreams as well. So that our dreams really are for us and about us, and are there to, in my opinion, give us important information that we're either ignoring or unaware of. So you have to remember at this point that when we're in the dream state, it is as real as our waking state. I use the example of nightmares and sexy dreams, but that is your reality at that time, is in that dream. And so that whatever is happening in the dream is really, really, you feel that you're there. It's happening. It is real time and it is live. But nightmares are a good example of that. I mean, you wake up, and if we from a nightmare, or somebody wakes us up, if we're sleeping next to someone, our heart's pounding, we're in a cold sweat, we're trembling. So, like I said, it's an emotional experience that leaves a physical stress on the body. It actually reacts. But we'll be looking at this in greater depth over the next several lives. What the dreams and nightmares are, what their impact is, and why they may be necessary for us. I mean, I've touched on some of the reasons why dreams are important. I've defined various categories of dreams that speak to the general experience of most people. I mean, but there's always going to be some kind of exception to the rule. I mean, we've heard that, creativity, for example, is a byproduct, if you will, of dreams. I mean, Paul McCartney's writing of the song Yesterday, or Mendeleev, who created the periodic table of elements for you science buffs. He created that because of, and able to put it together in a coherent way, because of his dreams. So, I mean, creativity, whether or to blow off steam, or to pose a problem or solution, these are all things that dreams are capable of doing for us, including even medical diagnosis, if we're paying attention and are sensitive enough. So dreams can serve as a helpful counselor, or it can be a harbinger of doom and gloom. It's all according to what our emotional response is to that particular dream or nightmare. And when I talk about nightmares, I'm going to talk about a lot of people's reactions when I've worked with them to analyze their reactions to nightmares. It's really rather funny, though you wouldn't think so. So in the next episode, we'll be looking at nightmares and what they are, and possible reasons as to why they appear, and what we can learn from them. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Have a great rest of the day, and I think I've finished just in time because the clouds are really rolling in now. And I think I'm going to get some rain soon. Take care, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.